How we doing, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Getting Jiggy With It. I'm Will, and today we're opening the latest in the series of deck builder games by Renegade Game Studios with their collaboration with Hasbro, and that is G.I. Joe the Deck Building Game. This is the third in the series. Of course, they released the Power Rangers deck building game that we played on the channel, as well as, of course, I've done an unboxing, and the Transformers, which will also have an unboxing of Transformers plus the new Power Rangers Zeo. So make sure you subscribe if you want to see those unboxings. And of course, we're going to have some gameplay because that's what we do here. With that said, guys, we'll go ahead and flip over the camera so we can get into this box. All right, it got flipped over. See, I've been hitting the flip over right when I say that, and it seems to cut off. So it's like I want to give it like 2 seconds, but then I digress. But here we go. This is G.I. Joe the Deck Building Game. It is by T.C. Petty III. This is the Joe version. There is going to be a Cobra version that's going to come out as a later expansion, kind of like the Zeo expansion for Power Rangers. This is for 13 up, 1 to 4, 30 to 70 minutes. Unlike the Power Rangers deck building game, I mean, it's a deck building game, so you're going to be spending cards to buy cards to improve your deck to complete the game's objective. Well, unlike Power Rangers, where you're battling each other, the G.I. Joe deck building game is actually can be played solo or cooperative because you're going on missions, you're taking your Joes out to try to defeat Cobra. I did unbox this. We're doing this as a second unboxing. Hopefully the sound is a little bit better. I was playing with things and forgot to test. So you guys let me know how the sound is this go around. So I've gone through this. Some of the things have been punched, but we will make do with that. So here we go. This is the manual, of course, the rule book. The rules for the Renegade game books or Renegade game deck builders are pretty in-depth. They have a lot of content to them. This one a little bit less so than Transformers. Transformers has tons of information, but it goes through your basic setup. They do give you nice graphics to show you how to lay everything out, how to play turn order, goes over each of the card elements. So very helpful and useful in that extent. If I remember correctly, I think there are a couple issues with this. You can go to Board Game Geek and they have explained some of those things. I think one of them, for example, is down here in this example. Low light should have been able to get an extra dice, and they don't say that. They say that he doesn't get the dice. And so I'd imagine in a future printing, those will be corrected. Going on a mission, how to do your end phase, end of round, end of act. And then, of course, for a lower player count, it's in here somewhere. Here we go. So for lower player count, you also get this extra reserve where you can basically hold a card back to help you on the follow turn. And then in solo, you actually take 2 turns per round. So you're going to have this little turn token that you flip over. And then, of course, there is an expert mode. And then the last thing here is the achievement list. So the ways replayability in this game is when you're setting up the deck, you're only going to use some of the actual items in the act. So that's going to get some replayability, change up the story. You have these achievements that you can work on, kind of like Marvel Champions, where they have an achievement list where it's like, oh, defeat this person with this, take the last punch with Spider-Man, what have you. Or no, I'm sorry, Marvel United. Marvel Champions, the achievement list is basically just completing it with everybody. But yeah, so they have this in here. And then the other way is the expert mode. So in expert mode, each level of expert mode is you add 1 more expert card. So you can go up to level 6 in the expert mode. Now we do have the little flyer here for the G.I. Joe role-playing game, and then of course the Transformers game, which we're definitely playing. The role-playing games I don't think are up me and Audrey's wheelhouse, so we're probably not going to get the G.I. Joe Transformers or Power Ranger games. I don't know if it really would work well, I don't think, with 2 people anyways. We don't really have a gamer group. So here is the hanger. So all of the items in the G.I. Joe one actually popped out pretty nicely. Didn't have much issue with these pop up. Transformers, wasn't as great, and I'll probably mention that during that video. This is your threat track. So 1 to 2 player, you have this one time that you're going to have an end of round effect, and then the end of each round, it goes up 1 on the threat track. In a higher player count, because it's easier, right? It still goes only up +1, but at a certain point, you're going to add more encounters. And then the same thing, you're going to add a Cobra, I think it's Cobra Battalion. CB stands for Cobra Battalion. This is the hanger that comes with the promo pack. You got to put it together each time. It did fit in the box pretty nicely, so I do have to give them that. Unfortunately, you do have to take it apart each time. It's pretty simple, but it like takes 5 hands, which I don't have when I'm doing these kinds of things. But yeah, you just put this together and try to keep it together. Try to, right there. And then, and then, no more and then. So that one. And so if I can get this to slide in right. I don't know why I'm doing this. I didn't do this during the first unboxing, and for some reason I'm doing it during this one. Just because. So, there we go. So there is the Joe hanger. So the purpose of this is you're going to get, and I guess we'll get one, and I didn't do this last time, we'll be able to stick the cards in there, but you're going to get vehicles, and you put the vehicles in the hanger. Normally you would have this hanger, which I guess you can kind of still put, I don't know, I guess, wherever you want to put it, we're going to put it there. Here are the turn orders. So this basically in a single player game, it just stays this way, right? And you just pass it around, and at the end of each round, you do these particular things. Some are going to activate at the end of a player's turn. Some will activate at the end of the round. In solo, you basically go, this is round 1, and then you flip this over for round 2. At least that's the way the book mentioned it. So you kind of get 2 rounds with nothing, because you get to do, okay, round 1, you flip this over, you take another round, another turn, then at your end of your turn, you flip this back over, you take another turn before this activates. You kind of get extra turns when you're playing in solo, which is going to be how I'm going to play it initially. And that's just because, of course, Oddlity's not here. She is still down in Colombia. This is the reserve. So this is where you can put your backup card. Don't focus back there, focus up here. So you can basically, in a 1-player or 2-player, you can put 1 card here, and then on your next turn, you can pick it back up and draw up to 6 cards instead of the normal 5. So you actually get an extra card for that turn. It is a dice game, so if you are somebody who is not into rolling dice, this game may not be for you. They have 1 miss. I think there's 3 miss. Yeah, 3 miss, 2 singles, and then you can see here, then a double as well. And these are what you're going to need to be able to defeat the missions or complete the missions, is rolling the stars. So pretty simple. What else we got in here? The insert, I didn't really show it, but the insert is the same type of insert that came in the Power Rangers game. It works, it's functional, it does what it needs to do. Got one more of these things. So these are your Cobra tokens. So certain effects are going to tell you to put these on either the, I think they're always on the tracker. One, of course, is to track the actual movement. And you go up there, you lose the game. The other is certain stories. You have to beat the story before you hit that. Otherwise, you fail the mission. I say story, but I guess story missions. And then these are just little tokens to show that you succeeded or failed the mission. I missed in the rules, why does it matter? Like why you can't just take the ones you failed, the ones you succeeded, and just put them to the side. I guess if you're trying to beat your score, right? Trying to say, oh, okay, I was able to complete all these. These are the story mission cards. So you'll see here, there are 2 missions in this set. And then of course, future expansions will add more missions. But when you're building your deck, you only build a deck of 9 cards. So you only take 3, including, I think including the boss. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 right there just for this mission 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 of each. Okay, so we did math. Math is easy, math is hard. So basically that's where the variability comes in, is being able to switch those types of things out for each one of your gameplays, because you only use 3 of each of those. There is a beginner mode. The beginner mode, you only use 2. So we'll go over this card. I'm not going to go through the rest because I don't want any spoilers for you guys. We'll go through, I'll show you the art real quick. And if you are somebody who wants to pause the video and see what it says, go for it. But basically, you have your mission name. It is a group mission. It tells you what the story is about. So here, Cobra has sent a double agent right into the Joe's headquarters. Will the Joes be able to find this agent of chaos? So you get a bonus if you use tanks. It does have two other, I think they're obligations. We'll see when we pull them out. There's something, but you got to complete those as well. And then at the end of each round, oh, it's complication. That's called a complication. So the longer this is out here, the more complications are going to start to build up, which makes it harder and harder. In order to beat it, you have to have 4 stars. Shouldn't be too hard. -2 if we succeed, +1 if we fail. So each card's going to have that, and these are going to be the missions you're going to go on. And you can see here, it just kind of goes through the story. And this is very similar to the story that is in the cartoons that are right now. And if you haven't seen any of these episodes, Hasbro does have it on their YouTube channel. They stream it basically 24/7. And I don't know where they're drawing inspiration from. I don't know if I know the comics, these are all from the comics, right? But there's multiple comic lines. There's the original Real American Hero line, which started with Marvel that IDW has. And then IDW has their own series that they came out with. And then that got rebooted because they were doing the combined universe with the Transformers and ROM and Mask and all that. They were also going to do the movie universe that way, and it failed several years ago. So now they have a brand new line of G.I. Joe comics, and I haven't read that far. I'm kind of behind my comic reading. So of course these are sorted because, again, I had already opened it. So we'll just go through. These are the starter cards, so we'll start with the starter cards, I guess. So it's nice they give you some player aids. Player aids are always helpful in any game. I think every game should have it. One thing I think I forgot to show you is it does also have a nice player aid with more detail on the back of the book. Really nice. And then, of course, it talks about how to go on a mission, what you do if you succeed, or what you do, or how you succeed and how you fail. So for your starter cards, so cost is in the top corner. I've never understood why starter cards have a cost. That's never made really any sense to me, but it does. This is how many recruitment points you get to buy more cards. So this one here, your rifle. This card is part of a side mission. You get 1 more dice. So wild skill is basically just the dice. The reason they call it wild skill is I forgot to show you on this. So here's the only benefit of me doing a second unboxing. I know more about the game now because I'm trying to learn how to play so I can play it tomorrow night. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. Tomorrow night's when we're going to play. So Tuesday night. But recon and stealth are the skills you need to complete this. If you have that, you're going to be able to roll more dice. So wild just means it gives you a dice. I mean, that's technically all it means. So this is your service rifle. So everybody gets a couple of these in their deck. And then the second is just your standard issue Joe, your GI. Cost of 0, which again, don't understand. But it does cost, or it gives you 1 recruitment point. If this card is part of a mission, you can destroy this card. So basically, you're going to kill this guy if he goes out on a mission because he wasn't good enough. But a part of a deck building is you want to get rid of these cheap cards so you can have your hand have a bunch of efficient cards. Like you don't want to have a draw where you have all GIs because they're only going to give you 1 dice. That's all they're going to give you, right? They're not very powerful. You want to have your actual Joes. So that's all of these. That's going to make up the majority of your starter deck. And then the next is Second Effort as a starter card. Doesn't give you any resources, but it does give you the ability to re-roll 1 dice during your combat phase. So that is those. So everybody gets 1 of those because there's only 4. And then Diffuse is a starter card. I might keep saying the starter card. We know it's a starter card. I told you I'm working the starter card. If you defeated a side mission this turn, you get to reduce the threat. Now, side missions are basically Cobra agents, so you're going to have to defeat them. There are a couple other side missions that'll pop up due to the, what do they call them? The complication cards. And then comms. Choose one. You can either discard 1 uncovered card from the lineup and replace it. So basically, if nobody you want to buy, and then, or you can target a teammate with 3 or fewer cards and they get to draw 1. So of course, that would only come into effect in a multiplayer game. So when me and Oddity play, but in a solo game, not so much. Now, I've heard, one guy says that he didn't like playing the solo. He preferred playing the two-handed solo, which is basically just a 2-player game. I'm going to play true solo just to see how it works. But I have heard that a lot of these games work better at higher player counts because you get more resources to stop the bad guys. Whereas in a single-player game, it's just you and every single turn. Now, I think the key thing is that maybe a lot of people have missed that rule that you basically get to go twice per round, not once per round. So here we go. So here are the add-on cards. Of course, the first are your transports. As soon as you pull a transport, it immediately goes into the hangar. Cost to buy, number of people it can carry, and the benefit that you see down here is the benefit you get when you are doing that particular mission. So this would give you +2 more tech. So if it's a tech mission, you're going to get 2 more dice. So what do we have? We got the Shark, Killer Whale, the Skyhawk, the Sky Striker XP 14F, the Tomahawk, APC, the Ram, the All Striker, and then the Vamp, which is just the basic Jeep. I think I had this as a kid. I don't remember if I had many. I had this one. I had this guy here. I had the All Striker, or the AWE Striker. I think I had the Skyhawk. I'm not going to go through all the things I had, but I had quite a bunch of G.I. Joe collection as a kid, and now they're worth lots of money, and I don't have them. Always sad. But this is the starter transport. So this automatically starts in the hangar, and then when it's done, it goes back. Otherwise, you would have to wait for your discard pile to get your vehicle back. Now that we got these vehicles, let's see how they work in this little hangar. See, this is the only thing is like it kind of wants to fall apart, and if I could glue it, right, it'd be much better. Now, the only problem with this is while they go in here just fine, I don't know what the benefit is. Like you don't know what the benefit is because the benefit's underneath. Like I would have to put it this way, and then I'm having to read it upside down. So it's a cute gimmick. It was a promo, it came with it. I can tell you, out of the promos, this was probably my least liked between the Power Rangers and the Transformers, and of course G.I. Joe. That one I don't like as much as the others, but I like it. So that's it. So here are the Joes. So some of them are leaders, but they're not promotable. Other ones are promotable, and I'll show you guys that in a second. Did I put these in the right order? Yeah, I got those in the right order. Okay, but we'll go over those as well as the promo cards. So we do have the Don Marino, who's the new Snake Eyes promo card. So Hawk. So he costs 7 to buy, 2 recruitment points, and then you can see here is his benefits. So if it's a marksman mission, then you get to have 4 dice. If it's a stealth mission, you get 3, and then of course he gets a special ability if you use it during that. So here, if you're the active player, then it's +2. Now, one of the other benefits of a solo game is, and maybe this is another rule people miss, you get to put all the other leaders into the deck. So you can buy all those leaders. I don't think you can upgrade them. I think you can only upgrade your leader because that's the only one it tells you to take the upgrade card for. So we'll just go through. We're not going to go over every card. We're just going to go over each one. Beautiful art. Love the art. This reminiscence of J. Scott Campbell. This is the guy that did the Danger Girl series for IDW after, of course, J. Scott Campbell wasn't doing it. And the reason I always wish they would put the artists like they do with Pokemon, but I think it's one of 2 reasons. One, they just don't care, which might be it. And 2, I don't think artists, I know the way artist contracts are written, they don't own their art. And it's for reasons like this, right? So if you don't write your contract where you can own your art, then Marvel or IDW, Boom Studios can basically take all of that art, throw it in a bin and say, here you go, whatever company, here's art for you to use. And then they don't have to, pay the artist. So if you're an artist, make sure you sign the right type of contract. So we have Wild Bill, Rock and Roll, Stalker, Spirit and Freedom, Tunnel Rat, so Torpedo, Deep Six, Cutter, Airborne. I did have Airborne. He came with a parachute. My dad was airborne, so Alpine, Leatherneck, Beachhead. I did a Beachhead too. I Beachhead, Lift Ticket, Lightfoot. Now a lot of these, of course, you could only buy if you actually had the toy, because a particular toy vehicle came with that character. And then Jinx. And I want to think Jinx was a new character, but I want to remember that she had a toy back in the day. So maybe she's not as new as I thought she was. Ripcord, Clutch, Mainframe, Zap. Now some of the art, I feel like they low light. Some of the art, I feel like they phoned it in, because some of them it's like Clutch. You're telling me in all of the G.I. Joe comics ever done, that is the best Clutch image you guys could find. Even Mainframe. Like, I've seen mainframe tons of times. You can't tell me that's the best mainframe image that you found. Let's see, Muskrat, Ace, Shipwreck and Polly, Barbecue, and that is, okay, so that's all of our Joes. And then here we got the upgrades. So these are your gear. A lot of your gear items are going to have some type of ability to use during a mission. So if you fail and you didn't get the dice roll, this is going to allow you to mitigate that. So as I said, if you don't like dice, you might not like the game. Well, there is some mitigation, so that usually makes people happy. Cost 5, gives you 3. Scuba gear, detonator, you got a twinkle, a drone strike, rocket launcher, night vision binoculars, smart missiles, hacking gear, proximity mine, gas grenade. So that is it for the gear. And then these are utilities. So they're very similar in what they do. Now, if you notice here, these can't be used in solo. I think there's two cards that can't be used in solo. But some of the side missions will say you can't play any gear this turn, or you can't play or any turn until you get rid of it. Some will say you can't play any utility. So that's, I think, just a way for them to mix it up. So that way you might still have something. So same thing, 4-2, a little bit cheaper. Maybe in some cases, reinforcements, halo jump. Knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe. All songs get stuck in your head. Now that's going to be stuck in your head. Cover fire, expert training. So this is kind of like maneuvers in Power Rangers, now that I look at it. So the gear is kind of like the equipment, and then this is kind of like the maneuvers. Utility. Oh, I read utility. I read the wrong thing. That was a distraction. See, it was distracting me. Recovery signal, all in. Disarm, and then inspiration. Yo, Joe! So it should have said that. It should have said, yo, Joe. All right, so that is the main decks, or the main cards for the deck. Now, these are the leaders that you get. So, of course, Dawn Marino, she is the promo that you can get, and you can see that. I don't know where it says she's a promo. Normally, they put that she's a promo. Huh, they didn't do that this time. Okay, hang on, let me look. Is there any difference? No. So normally they just say that they're a promo, and for whatever reason, she's not printed with a promo. So 0-1, she gives you 1 recruitment point. You got your normal stealth, and then they have whatever ability they come with. So you start the game with 1 leader that you're gonna be able to promote. And then, for example, once you promote her, you'll see that, I don't know why she has a cost, because you pay the 6 to recruit her. It's just kind of weird they put it on the card as well. I guess just as a reminder. But you can only recruit her if you have her in play. So, but you can see she goes up from 1 to 2, so you actually get more recruitment points. And then she gains martial arts, and her stealth goes up 1. And then her ability goes from 1 card to 2 card, and you discard 1 card. All right. So then we have Scarlet here. So Scarlet's a martial artist, and she allows you to discard cards. And then same thing. So then she goes 4/4, and she gains some tech. And we got Snake Eyes, pretty much the same as Dawn to some degree. His main difference is she gets, if there's Cobra officers, she gets a wild. And then if he defeats somebody in a turn, he gets to draw a card. So small differences between the two. And then he goes up, same thing. I think they all go up to 6/2, if I remember correctly from the last unboxing. But he does go up in stealth. He gains martial arts, and then he gets to draw 2, but he doesn't have to discard like she did. All right, Duke. So recon, and he gets to put discard back into your hand. This is very helpful for a multiplayer game, because in a multiplayer game, if you assist somebody, you're gonna have to discard your cards. Where in a single player, it just means you get to draw a card back up, so maybe you can use it again in a second mission during that turn. And then he gains marksman, and then you get to put from your hand GIs on this mission gain an additional wild. So again, he's a leader. Sounds right. Duke is gonna inspire his guys, get you some more wilds. Lady J here. So tech, if there's utility, you get +1 wild or draw a card, so she gets an option. And then she gets tracker, and if there's utility, +1/+1. So she didn't actually change. That's the first one I've seen where it didn't change. All she got was gain the tracker ability. That doesn't seem as good as the other ones. All right, so we got roadblock here. So marksman, it's kind of hard to miss with a big machine gun. If there's a gear in play, so he gets the 1/1, same as Lady J. And then he gains 1 more to marksman, plus he gains explosives, and same thing, 1/1. So this doesn't change. Wow, okay. That's kind of, I mean, most of them, they change the upgrade. Like for him, the only benefit is you gain the other talent, really. And then last but not least is Flint. So he's vehicles, and then you get +2. If there are 2 transports in the hangar, then you get to draw a card. And then he gains tracker. And if there's 2 transports, you get 2 wild and you draw a card. So very nice. All right. And then the last thing we got to go over is the Cobra stuff. So these are the complication cards. So these are the things that are going to make your life harder, things that you're not going to enjoy or not wanting to come out. But during the mission, you're basically going to say, like here, during a story mission, if the mission fails, you double the modifier, right? It's going to be things like that that are going to change. Add 1 Cobra battalion to the leftmost uncovered card in the lineup. Immediately draw and resolve another complication. And then here's an example of a side mission. So some of the side missions are called precision strikes. So same thing, you're going to need if you have a specific vehicle, you're going to be able to get more wilds. And then so you need 5, you need vehicles and explosives, so you can use both. So some of them will say and, some will say or some will say like pick one. And the end of your next turn, fail the current story mission. So if you don't complete this the turn it comes out, you're basically going to fail the mission, which is one reason why they recommend in the rule book, make sure you keep a couple cards, a couple Joes and reserve. Okay, so there we go. There's an example of an or. We'll just keep kind of going through them. So some of these, Storm Shadow appears, it's going to bring the Cobra villains out. Let's see what else we got. Anonymous Tip-Off. Fang Squadron, so that's another or. It's an and. Search and Rescue. Overwhelming Force of the Bats. And there's Destro appears. Surprise Attacks, that's not too bad, just goes 1 up on the threat. Don't tell me the odds. So he's rolling Snake Eyes. He knows here it's got both the old Snake Eyes, classic Snake Eyes, and new Snake Eyes. Now, there was one more Snake Eyes that was kind of in between these two. He was in the rebooted series before they rebooted it. And he took over for Snake Eyes because I think Snake Eyes died, like actually died. So they had somebody else, and I forget which Joe it was, take over, and he became Snake Eyes. So there was actually 3 Snake Eyes. Captured, underwater entrance, override the security, rattler attack, disrupt the drone strike. We've got company, hiss tank attack, major blood appears, higher ground, and that's where we started. Although I had one more, and where did I put it? Maybe I didn't. That isn't where I started. Maybe I repeated myself. Yeah, I repeated myself. That was higher ground was the first one. Higher ground was the first one. All right, and then the last thing is the Cobra card. So here are the expert cards. So I guess we'll go through these since that's what was on top. Really cool about these, if you flip it over on the back, it says now with expert mode. So it's kind of like the toys where it said like now with Kung Fu grip or something like that. They added that cool little thing there. Obey Cobra. But the expert mode, like I said, expert mode 1, you'll just draw 1 of these cards at random. 2, you'll draw 2, 3, so forth. So here, for example, it says when a story enters play, meaning the entire game. These don't get removed. During the entire game, you add 1 Cobra battalion each story, right? Which means you have to be actively removing them. At the end of the round, you're going to get another complication. End of the round, discard 2 cards from the lineup. This one, shovel a trooper into your starting deck. So troopers can come out as side missions. Cobra officers are +1 more difficult to beat. Story missions are +1 more difficult to beat. So those are the expert cards. And then here are the Cobra battalions. So these are side missions. Basically, they're real easy to beat. But what they do is they will cover a card and you cannot get that card. And if you get your 6th battalion out, the game's over, right? Because they've covered up the entire market of where you can buy cards. So those are the battalion. And then somehow I had these, we'll do the troopers real quick, and then we'll go to the actual Cobra. The Trooper, so basically same thing. It just comes out as a side mission, but this goes in to clog up your hand. So you definitely want to finish these because while they're clogging up your hand, you're going to keep drawing them, right? And they go back into your discard pile until you defeat them. Win game, placed in. At the end of your turn, put it back in the discard. But it's only 1 to defeat, so that's not too bad. You can just throw a starter Joe at it to get rid of them. So that's not too bad. Some other games, it's a lot harder to get rid of the things that fill up your hand. All right, so here we go. We got Storm Shadow, 5, any skill to defeat him. Major Blood is a 4, marksman and vehicles. Zartan, 5, you can only use tracker or recon. Dr. Mindbender, and these are all, again, these are group missions, so that's nice, so anybody can defeat the bad guy. Tech, 4, to defeat him. The Baroness has stealth and tracker. Death Throw, 5, explosives and martial arts. And then, of course, the big bad, Cobra Commander, vehicles and recon to defeat him. So there we go, guys. That is everything. Let me switch the camera back over real quick. All right, so that is... Oh, I got to get the box over here. We always do this. There we go. That is G.I. Joe, the deck builder game. If you got any tips or tricks, if you played this game, let me know down in the comments. If you'd like to watch me play solo, probably very badly, I would add, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, go over to the video that I've got scheduled, hit that reminder, that way you're doubly sure, or definitely sure, both, that you're going to get notified of when I go live. Until then, guys, peace.